Xbox just concede the console war? Welcome to AWG and Quickies, where I fill you in quickly on the midweek gaming news. It's been reported recently that multiple Xbox exclusives are going to be heading over to PlayStation. The leaked list of games under consideration for PS5, and these were acquired through data mining, includes Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Halo MCC and Infinite, Pentiment, Grounded, the Gears of War series, Hellblade 2, Flight Simulator, Indiana Jones, and Starfield. So these are not currently guaranteed to release, but even having that conversation is a big step. So what does this mean for gaming? Exclusives were the main deciding factor when purchasing a console. Halo sold consoles, Final Fantasy sold consoles. In recent years, that was still the case, but there was increasing emphasis on other things like familiarity, ecosystem preference, digital subscription options, and so forth. I'm a great example. I'm a PC player primarily with Game Pass Ultimate, and I love my Xbox. Anyway, it should go without saying, but console sales are very important. And in their latest earnings report covering Q2 2024 financial year, not calendar year, Microsoft published that revenue generated by Xbox hardware was up by 3%, but that includes the holiday season, so they would have expected that to be a little bit higher. They also expect a decline on that number going into Q3. Xbox content and services revenue, which includes Game Pass, is up by 61%, and this is due to the additional Activision Blizzard revenue, so we don't actually know what this number would have been if the acquisition didn't go through. As far as I know, Microsoft haven't actually provided us with any Game Pass subscriber numbers since 2022, so make of that what you will. Withholding games from a market as big as all PlayStation owners has clearly not worked in their favour, which is becoming even more important when they're playing IRL Monopoly with gaming studios. Everyone always says this: PlayStation sells games, Xbox doesn't. As an Xbox owner myself, I've never actually bought a game for Xbox. It's because Game Pass covers it all already. There's a clear shift in their strategy and progress, but is it gonna be a good thing? I am personally someone who wants to see gamers win. I want good quality games in abundance that everyone can play. And a more naive or optimistic person might say something like, great, less exclusives so we can all play everything. And maybe it will be a good thing in the short term, but competition unfortunately breeds innovation. Console exclusives have pit Sony and Microsoft against each other for the longest time, and I fear without that drive, without trying to constantly one-up each other, could we see a decline in interesting, thoughtful titles brought to consumers? I do also want to add that maybe it is completely unfair to have this conversation without mentioning that Nintendo and PC have some fantastic exclusives too, with Nintendo repeatedly outperforming all their competition. But it's not just about the quality of games. Competition keeps costs low. We're already seeing hefty price tags attached to consoles as well as individual games. With less competition, Sony can let their corporate greed roam free and gouge customers for whatever they can get away with. And what's also funny is the FTC did actually warn us that the Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger would lead to less competition, although none of us thought it would be like this. And did we listen? Some of us. Before this last bit, I do want to make it clear that I'm probably almost definitely being a bit overdramatic here, given this rant is essentially based on speculation. Let's wait and see what Microsoft have to say for themselves before we get mad. And speaking of what Microsoft have to say for themselves, Phil Spencer, the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, did announce on Twitter yesterday: "We're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned." So, thank you for listening, and I guess we'll revisit this topic next week.